John Lennon just likes starting over because that's kind of what people, I guess, regard the New Year as. Do you regard the New Year as a time to start over?
Oh, I regard it as a time to start.
To start what?
Something.
Start a fight?
Maybe.
Which is
I did not start that.
Which is why we played Elton John, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Because Twitchy did, in fact, almost get into a bar fight on New Year's Eve.
Well, let's go to the beginning.
Okay.
So, New Year's Eve. Let's see. I went to
We
work.
were having a rockin' fun time.
Rockin' fun music?
What? I didn't say anything like that. I just said we were having a rockin' fun time. You took it where you wanted it to go.
While I was working, what were you doing on New Year's Eve?
Pretty
Sleeping.
sure nothing.
I think you were sleeping.
I don't think I did anything.
I think that was another one of your nights where I tried to go to sleep. You couldn't sleep. I fell asleep early. You were up all night. Something like that. So, talking about sleep making me sleep. I went to work. You put beer in the beer dispenser for me.
I did.
That was the night that you couldn't sleep because I remember when I got up in the morning, the pot roast was in the the crock pot, and it definitely wasn't there when I went to sleep.
You were seriously thinking about that, like.
That was also the night. That's right. You were coloring your friend Heather's hair, and I left you there.
Right.
Yeah, and then she brought you home. And,
Details are unimportant to the show.
Right. Why did you color Heather's hair?
Because I color her hair.
And she wanted to look awesome for New Year's, right?
Right.
Okay. So, cut to...
she needed a dye job, trust me when I tell you.
Oh. She also needed makeup, apparently.
Have you ever seen the way she does her makeup?
No. Like, at the end process, or what she does to put her makeup on?
The end process.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she may be putting makeup on. I don't really notice. Remember, I don't look for those sorts of things. But women, of course, do. But yeah, so we were here. We kind of got ready and stuff. I carved up my face shaving. You cleaned it up a little bit for me. Finally, I guess they're our friends at this point.
Yeah.
Adam and Heather showed up. They were planning to go to the New Year's festivities with us.
Whee! We
partook in pot roast, and some of us had beer from the beer tap, which got a little bit colder. We still haven't quite figured out the temperature. If you guys remember on last week's show when Hinsky was here, we didn't quite get an impressive temperature. So we're figuring that all out still.
I think I really believe that the trick is that we turn on the cooler a day ahead of time. Mm-hmm. We put the beer in the freezer like 6 hours ahead of...
In the freezer?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Put that in the freezer like 6 hours ahead of time. And then the cooler is cool, the beer is cool, and then it just does its thing.
It does what beer does.
Right.
I agree. Let's see, you put Heather's makeup on.
I did.
And she came out looking very presentable. Her husband was very impressed.
Just presentable?
She's looking good. She's not really,
Your type?
Not my type. I don't know if you're my type either, but, whatever. We take what we can get.
I didn't ask.
Her boyfriend, was even impressed. And, like I said, probably got all hot and bothered because it seemed like it was a different woman. So, it's like swinging, but not really. I don't know, perhaps. And then we called a cab, which, by the way, I had a busy signal for like easily 10 minutes trying to call the cab company.
Nice.
And then when I got through...
Is that why you were up here so long?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted my phone to last as much as possible, so I was standing with it plugged into the wall, continually calling. And then when I finally got the guy and everything was taken care of, that's when I took it off the charger. So, is your dog getting into the beer thing right now?
I believe so.
Because it sounds like he's got the jug there. Or is it the cat?
Check.
So, the cab gets there. She's yelling at her dog. We'll have to see what he was doing. Sky Cat, Twitches doesn't hit me. That would be abuse. At least of a physical nature. She, however, does still verbally abuse me. So that's like a slap to the ears, if you think about it. But the cab arrives. The cab driver actually almost leaves because he pulls up. The cab driver, he pulls up. He honks his horn. We hear the horn, and wasn't basically before we were even out the door. He was like leaving.
Yeah, I think Adam had to go running after him.
So we get in. We're just kind of talking, having a good time. The cab driver tries to tell me the best way to get to where we're going is a way that I never take to go there, and he insists it's going to cost us $12 less. We're pretty sure when we get there less than a half an hour later, he wanted us to go that way, so it was $12 more. So, as we're driving and we're stopping at red lights and stuff, there's already people that are just fucking shit-faced. And we're laughing at them. There's the kid in a goddamn SUV with his mom driving.
Who thought I was the most fascinating bitch on the planet.
He's like waving at her, and he's so fucking
drunk. He's like,
drunk.
Twitchy. I'm like, how do you know my name? Twitchy. I'm a big fan, Twitchy. I'm like, who are you?
I listen to your radio show. I don't have a radio
you're
show.
You're a fucking 12-year-old. Why are you drunk? And like, everyone's calling this person his mom.
Uh-huh.
But
do you not think it was his mom?
I think it was his girlfriend.
Wow.
Because
she likes him young? Whoever she was?
She kept looking at me.
Oh, that's true.
Like I was fucking her dog.
But she still might have been, because who wants like a obviously older woman? No offense. Maybe that was offensive. I'm not really sure.
I wasn't trying to take him home.
But you should have ignored him, acted like he wasn't there. He made it
I
kind of difficult.
I tried to ignore him.
He's just like,
and I'm like,
what's wrong with this kid?
What is wrong with this guy?
There's some girl that looks like a hooker.
Dude, they all look like hookers.
Oh, that's true.
Like next year, I plan on losing 50 pounds this year.
And going like a hooker?
Just so I can wear a skirt that shows my vagina. Because at one point, I said to Memphis, honey, pull your skirt down. You're showing your vagina.
Stop getting ahead of yourself.
We'll talk about Memphis later.
Okay. Have we heard anything about her lately?
I have not. We'll talk about that.
Okay. So we get to the place. Was there anything else that happened during the trip worth mentioning?
We get out of the car and we're paying the taxi driver, and I'm like, hey, don't pull away. My coat's on the back of your car. So what does he do?
Pulls away.
He pulls away.
But that's cool. You had your hand on the jacket and you grabbed it.
I did.
So you guys had your smoke. We went in. It was kind of sort of crowded. Not too bad. We get our round of drinks. We're hanging out, chilling. The way this bar is, it's kind of a narrow type of entryway. It's
like most bars in Baltimore, they're narrow and long.
Yeah, that is true. So you got the bar, and then you got the chairs, and you got a little bit of walkway, and then we're kind of hanging on the other side of the walkway. So at times we're in people's way, of course. But
right.
What are you going to do? So what's the first interaction that we had? Was it with the twins?
Yeah.
Is that the first interaction? So
yeah.
You want to tell that story?
No, you can.
Well, how did the conversation start?
Okay, how about I just tell the story?
Okay, that's why I'm saying.
So Squig's gone to get us drinks, and I'm standing. I'm not crowding the bar because there's really no need for me to be there. And as Squig learned on New Year's, I don't have a boyfriend so that I can go to the bar. I just hand him my drink and smile.
Right.
So I'm standing back there, and this woman's like, "Excuse me, can I get to my coat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead."
Oh, right.
And she's
we're
like,
standing, her coat's like on a chair that we're.
She's like, "I'm saving this chair." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just standing here," and that
it's virginity.
Yeah, and that was the end of that.
Uh-huh.
And then, a little while later, she comes back and she's like, "Oh, I'm Kathleen and I'm drunk."
Oh, did she really start it like that?
No.
Oh,
she's like, "I'm Kathleen, and this is my twin sister Maureen."
And you're looking at him, and you called them paternal twins, and she's like, "Sorroral."
No, I asked if they were fraternal.
Oh, whatever.
Identical or fraternal, meaning are they identical or are they non-identical twins?
But you didn't use the right sex.
No, she made that word up.
No,
No, she did.
Did you check it? Did you check?
She told me she did.
When?
That night.
Like right after she said it?
Right then. Oh. She's like, I made that up. I think it sounds better.
I thought it was real. Boy, was I fooled. Okay, continue.
I'm a nurse and I made that up.
What, did she say she's a nurse?
She did.
I hope she was on call that night.
God, I hope so. We'll get to that, too.
Oh, okay.
So, this woman bumps in and out of our night all night.
Oh, and the...
bumping being the operative word.
My first interaction with her is that Twitchy introduces each member of our party to her, and then she does the thing that often people who are bad with names or faces or whatever do, and she starts pointing at people and repeating their names back, and immediately she got everybody's names wrong.
Everybody. Like, I'm pretty sure she called you Twitchy. And I didn't even tell her that was my name.
So we're openly making fun of her.
Right.
In a completely, okay way, of course, I think. And she latched onto it because later on in the night, when my buddy Doug shows up and she happens to be standing around, which I'll tell that story real quick. I was saying something about somebody grabbing my ass or something, and Kathleen's just standing there, like, staring at me, and I'm kind of ignoring her, and I'm talking, and finally I look at her and I said, "What?" She's like, "Oh, I was just seeing if you'd look at me." I'm like, "Well, since you're here, here's my buddy Doug," and she's like, "Oh, nice to meet you, John." And Doug he doesn't know this whole, story, so he's just confused to shit. He's just like, "What? No, Doug." "Okay, John." So,
wow.
Yeah, it was the next big thing, I guess, when Doug showed up with,
Helena. Who I thought's name was Elena.
Did you think it was Leah at some point,
yeah,
too?
I was pretty drunk.
So, speaking of bad names, she's calling the girl Leah, and the girl doesn't notice till, 5 times later, or she just waits to tell you one of those.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, Leah is, used to be a Helena used to be a bartender at a bar that Doug and I used to go to, and
it's now a lesbian bar.
Right? It's gay bar more actually. It kind of was a lesbian bar because the woman that owned it had some lesbian friends, but apparently a nearby gay bar closed, and so now all the gay guys are there, and apparently are very judgmental of the straight men, telling them they're dirty or fat or something.
So the gay guys tell the fat guys that?
Probably. At which point I'd probably be like, okay, faggot, that's too bad I'm not interested in guys. You can move along now. Thank you. I didn't ask for your opinion. I guess I'll be getting in a bitch fight at that point. I'm getting angry. I haven't even been in this situation, and I'm getting angry thinking about it. Yeah, so they showed up, and we're chilling out again. We're hanging. And New Year's came first, and then Helena's situation came, right? Does that sound about right?
I think so.
So, it's a few minutes to midnight. They turn Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve on. They're doing the countdown on the TV, and suddenly we realize...
everybody in Baltimore is in this bar.
They must have just been walking, and they looked at their watch, and they said, "Oh, fuck!" and just went into the nearest bar, which happened to be ours, and the place just swarmed. You couldn't go anywhere. So the countdown happens. Most of us didn't get champagne, even though they were passing it around, but that's fine. I think I was drinking my sangria at that point anyway.
I don't even know.
That was better. You were drunk. People scream Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the ladies go out to have a smoke. And it may have even been that time.
I believe it was.
Then Helena comes back in and goes, I'm going to have to go. Your friends had to pull me off of some Asian bitch. I'm like, what? So, you were outside. What happened?
So, we're all standing around having a cigarette.
Helena's not drunk, by the way. We should point this out. She hasn't even hardly had any drinks.
Next thing I know, Helena is over yelling. I don't even know how this happened, but Helena's over yelling at this Asian girl. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this? And why is she yelling at her? So I go get her and I pull her back and I'm like, what happened? Apparently this Asian girl was trying to get a taxi. And she for whatever reason, the taxi wouldn't take her.
Mm-hmm.
So her answer to that was, they wouldn't take me because they're racist.
Right. Yeah, Asians, I hear, are the worst taxi riders ever. It's because of their bad...
driving abilities?
Their bad peripheral vision.
Ah. So
apparently they need to have good peripheral vision to ride
like,
the taxi.
Helena's over there yelling, and this girl's yelling. I'm like, dude, why don't you just relax? I'm like, trying to break it up, and I just walk away from them because they're so drunk and obnoxious. There was no talking to them.
You just pulled her away, basically.
Pulled her away, sent her in the bar, walked away himself.
That was this. This was after you met the infamous Memphis.
Yes.
So Memphis, from my recollection, and you can fill in the rest of the details, was from Memphis, now living in Maryland, I guess.
Right.
So it's called Memphis because of where she's from.
Right.
One of the times I came out to see what
she may have been called Memphis because I was drunk and couldn't remember her name.
Oh.
So I was like, hey, Memphis, come here! That might have been what happened.
No, she didn't correct you.
Oh, okay.
Well, of course, she was really drunk, too, by the time. So.
Right.
So my experience was you guys were outside smoking, and some people were piling into a cab. Like, literally piling. Like, there were a lot of people getting into this cab.
And Memphis was sitting on the ground because she was... I met Memphis because when I was a little more sober, I liked her shoes.
Oh, okay.
And as you've come to
Did you
realize...
ask her if she wanted to fuck?
No. As you've come to realize, girls will talk about... Just walk up to random girls and talk about their shoes.
Yep.
Or their nails.
Just like black women like your nails.
Right.
Yes.
So we're talking about shoes. We go inside. We have a couple drinks. I've met Vincent by now. He's bought me a drink.
Oh, God, I forgot about that guy.
He did a whoopee or something. I don't know. So we're back outside, and Memphis's friends are piling into this cab. It was like a clown car.
It really was.
And I was like, Memphis, come on. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, do you need me to get her in the car for you? And she's like, no, our other friends are in the bar. She's okay. Okay. Memphis, your friends are leaving. Honey, get in the car.
Okay.
I'm okay. So, fast forward a little bit more. We all have more drinks. I'm even more drunk. I meet Vincent, facing the titties. He buys me a drink.
Right, Vincent, we're pretty sure, is gay, but he wanted to motorboat at least one girl.
Did he actually say that?
No, but that was my thought.
Oh, okay. Well, he did.
He probably doesn't get propositioned for that too often.
He motorboated me, much to the disgust of the people in the bar around us.
No, they loved it. They wanted to get all up in that.
We end up back outside.
By the way, you were like, no, it's cool if you motorboat me, and it's not like it's going to have anything to do with your penis. I said, you know what? If standing there motorboating you can get your penis in there, I'm fine with that.
But you got to get it up there.
He felt, Drac is virtually motorboating the chat room. So, end of the evening, we're ready to go. We run into Memphis again.
And by this time, bitch is so fucking drunk. Like, she can't even stand up.
So, Adam decides to assist her in standing up by putting his arm around her to stop her from falling.
Yes, to stop her from falling on her face.
Not a good idea.
Because she's also wearing 6-inch heels.
Right.
And a skirt that's cut to her vagina.
Yes.
Well, there's some other guys who thought he was going to get all up in that business.
Right, I believe he got his scent all over her.
Is that what he was doing?
Probably. I mean, the guy, he had marked his territory previously.
Ah.
When suddenly, this nerdy guy steps in and
puts his arm around Memphis.
Right.
Now, mind you, we've been, kind of joking and hanging out with Memphis for a couple of hours now.
Right.
And, we're adults, usually.
We teeter when it comes to the drinking.
We teeter, but this is...
Or radio wars, but that's another break.
Well, this is where the adult part comes in. Sort of. This guy thinks he's getting all up ons. Mm-hmm. And she was too drunk to really even say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend Adam puts his arm around her, holds her up. This guy was like, "Hey man, get your fucking hands off her."
Oh no, it was even better than that. It wasn't even so much that. He's like, you something to the effect of, you shouldn't be doing that, you can't be doing that. And actually, in a very douchey way, I don't know if you notice this, he actually takes Adam's arm and removes it from her shoulder. Not like forcibly, like he's just kind of like, "Nah, I'm a douche, you can remove your hand now, dude."
I mean, you were sober-ish, right?
Yeah.
Was Adam really doing anything?
Nope.
Absolutely not?
Nope. And I would imagine you guys probably didn't have any interaction with that guy or his buddy at all during the evening.
Not that I'm aware of.
You didn't. I can guarantee you didn't. If you did, they didn't make an impression, clearly. Because you came out and you were like, "Oh, Memphis! Memphis!" And he's just like, meh. So it was that guy, and then it was his buddy, right?
Honestly, from this point on, it becomes a blur for me.
So I think it was that guy, and it was his buddy. And Adam's just like, "Look, man, we know her. We've been hanging out with her. She's drunk. I'm not trying anything.
It's cool.
It's cool." His buddy comes over and starts getting, like, more threatening. Like, the one guy's just kind of douchey, like, eh. But his buddy's coming over and threatening. As threatening as a guy that's, like, 5'5", wearing a members-only jacket or whatever the fuck he was wearing, could be. He was obviously a very young, like, early 20s.
Is that the one I got in a fight with?
Yeah. Real young, early 20s, just punk ass. And he comes over and he starts getting more threatening. He's still not getting physical, but he's getting threatening. So as I explained to Adam at breakfast the next day, I'm watching this situation at that point. As you know, I'm not a violent person. Probably in a fight, I would get my ass kicked. But I'm at this point weighing my friendship with Adam to figure out, okay, should I be jumping in now to try to help Adam? Do I wait until the guy punches him and then go, okay, now it's on? Because if the guy punched him, I'd have to get involved. I'd have to. There's nothing. I couldn't just step away and go, However,
luckily,
before this could happen,
you didn't have to make a decision.
Twitchy had already weighed her friendship with Adam and decided it was worth getting in the guy's face as much as she could. Although you had your heels. No,
I had switched my flats.
Shoes. Yeah, you were way shorter. You'd actually be eye to eye with him if you had still been wearing.
I would have been pretty imposing in those shoes, but I wouldn't have been able to maintain it in those shoes.
You'd just fall over on him.
Right.
So, she says a couple things to him, and unfortunately he says the magic words.
My favorite thing is this what you're about to hear was the best that he could come up with. Mm-hmm. The absolute best. Mm-hmm. He thought about this and said, "I'm going with it."
Okay. Oh, maybe I should. Now, fuck it. This is gold right here, man.
This is insult gold, and it's coming at you. Oh, yeah. And what did he say?
He said, did he say shut your mouth, or you can back off, or mind your fucking business? He may have said mind your fucking business. I believe he said mind your fucking business, hungry, hungry hippos. Because I believe before I stepped in, you were like, it is my business. And I was like, dude, that's really, that's my girl. What are you doing? Why did you didn't have to take it there, all that kind of shit. He looks at me and goes, did
he actually say that?
That's all I remember. And I actually stood there. He did. He absolutely did, because I recall I'm then standing there and tears are starting to come out of my eyes because I'm trying to stop myself from laughing. Because
you should have laughed at him.
Because if I laughed, that could have been a problem.
You totally should have laughed at him.
I believe I started laughing, but he had already walked away and started accosting some random woman that's walking down the street with her kid.
He was the one who did that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he was. So he goes down and accosts her. Now Twitchy is like, oh, fuck no. And she starts stomping after him. And I put my arms around her, and I'm holding on to her for dear life. And she is fighting me with every drunken cell in her body. And then when she realizes she's not going anywhere, she starts slinking out of her coat, figuring,
every trick I could think of.
Oh, he'll be holding my heavy leather coat, and he won't realize I'm not there anymore, and I'm going to go pound this guy. No. I had to wrap my arms around her in the coat. I had to hold on. Meanwhile, these two guys, their buddy comes over in his very professional-looking dress, and he's like, you guys don't want to do this. I'm a lawyer. I know how this kind of stuff goes. And he really did look like a lawyer, but then again, he was kind of young, too.
He was like 12.
He could have been in, like, law school or something. I guess he could still consider himself a lawyer at that point. And he's trying to talk you down, and you're not even fucking listening to him. It's the best part. Adam and Heather are like, yeah, we know. And you're just like, let me at him! Motherfucker! And I don't know why you finally calmed down. I think the two guys came back through. They went back into the bar, and then we just sat down and we focused our attention on poor Memphis, who had to deal with these assholes. Who apparently we then found that none of her friends were still in the bar.
Right.
She didn't know where her friends were. She couldn't reach them on the phone. She knew they had a room at the Hilton, but she didn't have a key. She couldn't reach them to get a key. We're weighing the option of, okay, we could take her to the Hilton, but are they really staying there? Would they give this drunk girl a key? Would she even, be able to say the right words for them to say, okay, she's authorized to be there? So, which one of you got the idea to look in her phone? That was you.
Yeah. What happened was someone had called and I tried answering it, but we couldn't hear them because they were in another bar,
right? And
it was fucking loud,
right?
So I was like,
"This is probably the other friends she couldn't reach."
Right.
Actually, Adam's like, "This is Adam," and they just hung up on him, or whoever he talked to. I don't know if they talked to Adam or not.
They did. I was too drunk to deal with it.
So, so we're like, who in your phone can we call? That can, we could put you in a cab, we can send you to them. I don't have any money. I only have a debit card. We're like, you can use your debit card in most cabs. Oh, the last one didn't take it. Okay, well, we'll send you somebody, they'll pay for it, whatever. So she's like, oh, my boss, Joe, we're kind of dating. We're like, what?
Meanwhile, I go, oh, God, he's married. And I asked her, I'm like, are you sure he's not married before we call him?
Did you say that?
I did.
No.
And she's like, oh my God, is he married? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Did she really say that?
Yes.
Wow. What a dummy. So we called this guy, or Adam called this guy. We got his address. He's, of course, 40 minutes away. And we flagged down a cab. We put her in. Tell the guy the address. Tell him where it is. He's like, oh.
I believe we got his name and his cab company's number.
Did we?
Adam did.
Nice.
Adam did. In case she ended up dead.
Yeah.
Seriously, in case we couldn't get a hold of her the next day.
Right.
So that we knew who the last person to see her alive was.
Not only did he do that, but he texted his phone from hers so we could reach her back.
Right.
And make sure she got to where she was. And you said he texted her at 4 or 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
She said she was fine?
Yeah.
Not that we necessarily know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm fine. I'm in this cab. We're just driving around.
Oh, I'm fine.
It's fun. Wee.
Don't see why they call me Memphis. Makes no sense.
I know. It's following a formula. So, yeah. So then we grabbed the next cab. Rick, I believe was the cab driver's name.
Yeah.
He put up with us as much as he could. He seemed like a lonely old man.
Drinking his coffee.
We had to send him all the way to Owings Mills.
Yeah.
Because he did seem kind of put off. But then he was like, $50 for a ride. I'm like, no problem. So, we got home. You and I didn't get to sleep till 5 or 6 in the morning.
I don't know why.
Drac, we hung out with some awesome sounding people that we, most of them that we didn't intend to hang out with.
True.
It just happened. But it made for a very memorable New Year's. Next year we're going to go to
a gay bar.
Yeah,
we're going to get in fight with women this year.
Right. Adam's going to put his arm around a lesbian and her lover's going to punch him.
Well, the best part is, like, I can't get in a fight with a woman at a bar. Uh-huh. I had to find the fucking douchebag guy.
Yeah, you did. He did start it, though. You're right.